So a few weeks ago on my Facebook page, I asked you guys if you would like to see me with my own top 10 list of characters that I wanted to see in Smash Switch. And with E3 in, this many days, I finally got around to recording the audio for it. And you guys seemed like you really wanted it. Although this guy seems to want Fortnite as one of the fighters. And I'm gonna say, for this guy, that's a little overpowered. But this video is not just going to be my top 10, I also have some other wishes for the game, and I'm going to go through those as well. So first things first, Lilat can go fuck itself. I hate this stage with a burning passion, and I don't know why it was brought back so buggy in Smash 4. I just don't. Either fix it or remove it, and I would much rather it just not be in the game. That means like every Smash game has some sort of stage with some stupid ledge. I forget what it was in Smash Bros. 1, but for Melee it was Battlefield, Brawl it was Final Destination, and here in Smash 4 it was Lilac Cruise. So who knows what it will be next. Of course I want Game & Watch back, he's my main in every game. I would never want a Smash Bros game without him, even though he was bad in Melee, but we don't talk about that. And I know that there's very little doubt that they won't be back, but bring back the Ice Climbers. They got cheaped out because of Smash 3DS. They're annoying, but they are a staple of Smash Bros. They deserve their spot back, and yeah. Out of any character I would want to see gone, however, I can't really decide on any. I would say Duck Hunt because Duck Hunt, but that's really it. There's not really a reason to cut any characters besides unpopularity or weirdness. But even then, those characters are still fleshed out in Smash 4. Although speaking of fleshing out, something I would love is to clone all of the clones and semi-clones. Make them full-fledged characters. Give Ganondorf a moveset. Now I know this is difficult because a lot of players come off of the old versions of these characters, where they are clones, where they're used to that. That's something that you do have to take into account. This is supposed to be a both casual and competitive game. You gotta think about the casual side as well. But it would just be nice to see these characters fleshed out, and that goes for Dr. Mario, Lucina, Dark Pit if they are coming back. I would love them to have full-fledged moves, and it's possible. We've seen those types of movesets made by fans, so it wouldn't be too difficult. And finally, there are just some stages that I would love to have back, one of which is Big Blue. I love this stage when I played it in Brawl, so it would be great to play on this stage again in casual mode. Another casual stage I would love to have back is New Pork City, because you might not know this, but on channel Pojolonewolf, where I edit the AFBR series, I do a little bit of machinima work for the episodes, or at least I used to. And I would love to have New Pork City back, because that's kind of like the machinima heaven stage. You can just do so much on it because it's so big. Of course I want my favorite stage back, which is Found in the Dreams. Yes, I'm very much aware that it's very weird that Found in the Dreams is from Melee, and Melee is my least favorite Smash game, if not one of my least favorite games of all time. But it's a beautiful stage, and to see it finally back in HD would be amazing. It would be gorgeous. And finally, the last stage that I want back is Poke Floats. I love Poke Floats, not for any good reason. It's a shitty stage, but that's why I love it so much. I love it because it's so terrible of a stage. It's my guilty pleasure. I just love that stage so much because it's so bad. But with those thoughts out of the way, let's finally get to the actual top 10 list. So we'll start from 10 and go down. Up. Go, just start the countdown. There's like no doubt that there's going to be an ARMS representative, right? We all know that there's gonna be one, right? Just saying. The question is, who? Now, the obvious answer would be Springman, because he's, well, the face of ARMS, and there's no solo representative of a series that isn't the main character of the series. But Springman's kind of basic. He doesn't really have any real powers in ARMS as far as I'm aware. I'm sure he has one, but it's probably not amazing or incredible. So there would probably be other characters in the game that would be much better fits. There's the possibility of Ribbon Girl, who's another face of ARMS, and she has multiple jumps, so that could easily play into the game. And she could be another floaty, kind of like Peach. Of course I want to put my vote in for Ninjara, because that's who I played in all the ARMS demos. I would love to see him in the game with his teleporting, but aside from that teleport, he doesn't really have anything else. So he's not really a face of ARMS. And then the last possible character for a face in ARMS would probably be Helix, honestly. He's just, well, a major part of the game's lore, even though the lore for this game was made after the game was made. But I don't know if he would fit into Smash Bros, because as far as I'm aware, his abilities, like, you have to tap jump twice, and instead he'll, like, first stretch himself and then he'll get a high jump. But, like, I don't know if that really fit well into how Smash Bros works at all. I don't think, yeah, it's not gonna work. But those would be the 4 possibilities in my eyes, in this order of probability. One of the first games I ever played was The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, and it was for my DS, my very first one. It was the limited edition Phantom Hourglass DS, which I promptly have now destroyed over the years, and there is no hope of me ever fixing it, so I'll probably just have to get a new one on like eBay or something. But that's besides the point. I love that game a lot, even though I never actually completed it because I got scared as a child in the final parts of the game, but despite that, I immediately went on to Spirit Tracks because I didn't know that Wind Waker existed. And I love Spirit Tracks as well, but that game I never finished because not only was my first DS broken, but my second DS also was, so because of that, I couldn't get past the game. But the point I'm trying to say is that I want another cel-shaded Legend of Zelda character. And I think the best choice for that would be Phantom Zelda from Spirit Tracks. Now, Zelda already has the Spirit Phantom as her down B now that she and Sheik are separate characters, if they're going to keep that in Smash Switch. But it would be cool to see Zelda in that Phantom armor, taking control of it and swinging around the big sword. I'm actually not sure of many of Phantom Zelda's abilities because I never got that far into the game because my DS's were always broken. Maybe I should go back to this game because now I have like a 3DS and it works. But it would just be really cool to see. And I know for a moveset, I guess really the only thing I can think of is, like, I guess her up B would kind of be like Bowser Jr.'s, where she exits the Phantom armor, floats up, and then, like, she's really floaty as a spirit until she hits ground again. To be honest, after I came up with my top 5 for this game, I really did struggle to get the other 5 for this list. But I'm honestly really ashamed how long it took me to realize that one of the characters I've been wanting in Smash Bros. Was Bomberman. I love Bomberman. Now, granted, I've only played one game, which is Bomberman Generations, and I've only played the multiplayer of that game, but it's so fun! It's just so fun. I love it so much, and he has a wide variety of games that he could get a moveset from. Now, I think it's, however, Konami who owns the rights to Bomberman now, and, in general, how Konami is being nowadays. Or rather, just like how they always have been, it's just more apparent nowadays. There's very little chance that we'll see Bomberman here with all the other representatives. There's very little chance that we'll see Bomberman in a Smash Bros. Game, or any Konami representative in the game again. Another game of my childhood was the legendary Starfy for the Nintendo DS. I loved this game. It was so colorful, it had great music, although looking back at the music, or rather listening to it, I realized that it was actually kind of empty sounding, but that's besides the point. I love this game a lot, and I made it all the way to the final boss, but like many other people, I could not beat the final mashing portion against Mashtooth. That is the most difficult shit I have ever seen in a video game. How is a 9-year-old meant to do that? I couldn't. I just couldn't, and one of these days I will go back to it. But I highly doubt even now as an 18-year-old I will be able to beat that final boss because of the mashing section. Starfy has had 5 games and has so far appeared as an assist trophy in both Brawl and Smash 4, but he's a lovable character and he has a wide variety of moves besides just that normal spin. He has Shooting Star, he can glide, he can transform with the bunny. Shit, what's his name again? Bunston, I looked it up. Bunston, that's his name. Bunston. He can combine with Bunston for certain moves. He would just be great. He deserves a spot in Smash Bros. Now. And for the final Smash, it could just be the fact that you have to stop a star from crashing into you, and you have to mash P to take less damage, but guess what? It's not going to work because that button mashing part is impossible! Alright, so I'll admit that Wolf should have been a part of that little spiel I had at the very beginning about characters that I want back, but he wasn't exactly cut for technical limitations. so that's the difference, I guess. But I like playing Wolf in Smash Bros. Brawl. I wasn't amazing with him per se, but he was just fun, and he was really the only original Star Fox character in the game. Albeit even his trophy description says that he ripped off the Landmaster. All of his special moves, not counting Reflector, they were all pretty different. Blaster, instead of a rapid fire, it's just one small bullet that does a lot of damage. Up B, much faster but with more landing lag and harder to control. Side B has an angle and a sweet spot that will send you reeling. But yeah, this one's just a short entry, because I would just like Wolfpack. He was original, he was fun, and yeah, that's really the only reason why he's so high on this list is because he was a character already, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities like a lot of other characters on this. Like the very next one who's on this list. Alright, I'll admit, at first I didn't think Waluigi would ever be a good character for Smash Bros. But when Mario King started releasing footage of his Waluigi mod for Smash Bros. Brawl, I got on the train for Waluigi. He would be so fun, and honestly, that moveset that Mario King made, they could just use that. It's already a perfect moveset. I don't really see any reason to change it unless they want more with tennis, because that seems to be all Waluigi is good for. Actually, yeah, now that I think about it, no, they could change the moveset. Waluigi only appears in spin-offs, but Mario has a lot of spin-offs. Mario could just be the representative of Mario spin-offs. He could represent Mario Party, Mario Baseball, Mario Tennis. He could represent all of that with his wackiness. It'd be amazing. No, yeah, Nintendo, do that. Make Waluigi the representative of Mario spin-offs. That would be perfect. It's wacky, and that is what Waluigi is. Do it. Okay, so out of all the characters on the list, this is the least possible character, I think, on this list. I love Rivals Aether, and you know that if you've seen my videos on Pojolonewolf with it. And you would also know then that my main in that game is Arcane. Why is he my main? Well, he's blue. I'm not joking, that was the main reason. But Arcane is really, really fun, and I know that Zetterburn is more so the face of Rivals of Aether, but I would much rather Arcane. And Arcane would actually be kind of an interesting mix, because let's say that instead, Arcane only uses the physics in Rivals of Aether, aside from grabbing the ledge. He can grab the ledge and he can have a shield. Actually, no shield. Arcane doesn't have a shield, but he does have his parry mechanic instead. Or he could have a shield, but perfect shielding gives you the parry mechanic instead. But instead of air dodging consistently, he only has the one air dodge that moves him, meaning that he could wave dash, but it won't put him into helpless like it does in Melee. It'd just be like in Rivals of Aether, where it's just another movement option. I feel like that would be pretty interesting as a character, and would honestly be a nice shout out to Melee, even though I hate that game with a burning passion. But yeah, the chances of a character from a Smash Bros. Like game getting into Smash Bros. Very, very, very low. Very low. What even are Sakurai's thoughts on Smash Bros. Like game, other platform fighters? Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has ruined my life. I have spent the past, I think, month playing that game. I have spent 96 hours in that game. I'm almost about to reach 100. Actually, probably by the time this video comes out, I have hit 100 hours on this game. And I'm still not done the main story. I still have 2 chapters left to do. That's how much this game has driven me into insanity trying to complete it. Because it's just so good. And I have the other Xenoblade Chronicles games, and this is making me want to go back to those games and play them finally. But back on topic, obviously, the character I want is Rex. I want Rex in Smash Bros. Switch. Now, how would he play differently from Shulk, you may ask? Well, the main thing about Xenoblade Chronicles is that you have a blade and a driver, and Rex is the driver and the blade gives him different abilities. So I would say that it would be possible to switch between Pyra, which is his main blade, and I won't say the other character's name, we'll just call her M, because it's mostly a spoiler, I guess, if you haven't played the game. But yeah, Pyra and M, and he can switch between the two and have different effects between what his weapon is. And of course, he could use the arts from that as his special abilities, although he doesn't really have a recovery one as far as I'm aware. I don't think Air Slash is in Xenoblade 2. Actually, no, never mind. For his up B, he could just use this hook shot that he uses for salvaging. That would work much better as an up B. And for a final smash, instead of chain attacks, I would rather it be something different from the Xenoblade series. In the Xenoblade games, there's a special combo that does a lot of damage where you cause 4 special effects: break, topple, launch, and smash in that order. And considering that it has the word smash in it, you know that is a perfect final smash for this series. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to go finish this game, so that's gonna be another 90 hours.
Awesome to meet you!
I can explain. See, I don't want Pokemon Riolu. I don't want this Riolu. I don't want this Riolu. I don't want would-be to Lucario what Pichu was to Pikachu Riolu. I want Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Riolu. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is one of my favorite game series of all time. And Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explores the Sky is my favorite game of all time. And the game also has a special place in my heart because my dad somehow got it a day early when it came in North America, and that means I got it on my birthday. The game came out October 12th, but I got it a day early. So it's really resonated with me since then. Back on point, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is based on 3 things: strategy, items, and randomness. And what are the 3 major things of a Smash Bros. Game? Strategy, items, and bullshit. I mean randomness. And I've been thinking about a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon representative for probably like 3 or 4 years now, and I've had a moveset for Riolu since then. For the neutral, it could be him digging through his treasure bag to get different items, each of which doing different things. The ones that I've listed are Sleep Seed, which would put the opponent to sleep; Stun Seed, which would stun the opponent; Apple, which would heal Riolu up a bit; Blast Seed, which Riolu would eat and cause a huge amount of damage right in front of him; and finally the Cross-Eye Seed from Explores the Sky, which is a very, very powerful seed and would basically make the player's controls awkward to use. The side B would probably be Item Toss, because there are a lot of throwable items in the Explorers games, or in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon as a whole, and it would grow in terms of how much damage. So from the Geopebble, to the Gravel Rock, to a Stick, to an Iron Spike, and then very, very rarely the rare Fossil, which I didn't even know existed in the game until I started researching this. Apparently it does a hell of a lot of damage. For his up B, it would obviously be the Badge Warp from the series, where you just flash your badge and you warp out of the dungeon. I have no idea how that works, but it works, and that could just be his up B. And for his down B, it would be a little bit weird, but let me just see if I can try to explain this well. Basically, it would be the item Link Box. Now, in Mystery Dungeon Explorers, you can go to an Electivire and link special moves together, meaning that after you use one, you use the other one immediately after, allowing for a sort of combo. There's an item called a Link Box, which allows you to link moves while you're in a dungeon, so you don't have to go to Electivire. So once Riolu uses a Link Box, whatever his next move is, instead of doing any knockback, it would stun the opponent, allowing him to follow up with another move. So let's say he uses his forward air, that would stun the opponent, allowing for a combo into, say, an up smash. And for a final smash, I really can't say this without a spoiler warning, so spoiler warning, it could be one of these 3. It could be one of these 3 things. Either Temporal Dialga shows up and uses a special attack against the field, Grovyle and his gang could show up and help attack the players, or Wigglytuff's guild could come in and attack all the players that are trapped into the final smash, kind of similar to the graduation mission at the very end of the game. Alright, so if a character from my favorite video game of all time isn't my number 1 choice, who is my number 1 choice for Smash Switch? The Professor Layton games are some of my favorite games of all time. I'm not good at them, by any stretch of the imagination. I am not good at puzzle games. I had to use a guide for several puzzles in the games that I've played. But the story, the art style, the music, I love them so much. And of course, I love all of the characters and their wacky appearances and their special abilities. I love it all. And even I have to admit, I may love Explorers, I may love the Mystery Dungeon games, but that's very niche. It's a very niche type of game style. But the Professor Layton games are much easier to just pick up and enjoy, and just play at your own pace whenever you want. And that would make Professor Layton a much better, more accessible character for Smash Switch. And of course, I have a moveset for him too, because I have also been thinking about him since the Smash 4 ballot came out. Obviously, his neutral special will be just him solving a puzzle, so he would just point and whatever's in front of him, whoever's in front of him would just take some damage. But there's a chance that he doesn't solve the puzzle, so it would do less damage but maybe more knockback because it's like kind of like a catastrophic failure if he doesn't solve a puzzle. His side B would definitely be the slap machine gun from Unwound Future. It would just like be a two-step thing, so first he loads the gun and then he immediately fires it off and does like a lot of chip damage, but then there's like a final blast or something. Or maybe it just does a lot of knockback at the very end, kind of like Meat Gunner's forward smash, I guess. That would probably work. His up B would be the flying contraption from the Diva movie. He could just pull that out, fly it, and then it'll explode and put him in a helpless mode. I'd say that would work best. And then his down B would be a minigame. There are several minigames in the Professor Layton series, each of which you get with different items as you go throughout the games, and that could be that. So it could be like him pulling out a train and it goes across the floor, or it's the hamster that Luke trains, and I think it's Unwound Future that you train the hamster. And obviously for a final smash, it would be him determining the criminal, kind of similar to, I guess, Marth, where it's just a field in front of him, and whoever's in front of it gets immediately KO'd. And going back to what I said about Professor Layton being accessible, he's also perfect for Smash Bros. Because his games are so wacky. He goes from a village of robots to a town made on drugs, to the future, to a dinosaur, to unearthing an ancient civilization. There is nothing that this man hasn't done. A little battle with a 2D character and a giant ape? That would be nothing to him. So please, Nintendo, I actually beg of you to bring Professor Layton from level 5. In terms of who would be better fit for the game, please, Professor Herschel Layton. And with that, that's the end of my list. And be sure in the comments to tell me what your top 10 characters are, because I would love to hear from you guys, and any other wishes that you have for the series. And by the way, you guys all know that there's going to be a lot of Smash Switch content on this channel, especially because I will be moving So Fun to the Switch game. So be sure to check that out. Alright, see you guys.